Hello children, today we will discuss with a new chapter of political science, that is international institutions. As already you know, from this chapter we are going to discuss some important following points. The first important is establishment of UNO and the objectives of United Nations of organization and organs of United Nations of organization, some important achievements of UNO, the agencies of United Nations of organization, and the regional cooperations. Where the one of an important international institution which is presently operating in the world is known as United Nations, which is headquartered at New York. There is a symbol which they have given of the United Nations, where it is indicating here in the picture that we have a unity in the world. Each and every country is belonging to the different continent, but even though we are like a family here in the United Nations, because totally the present countries which are the part of United Nations are 193 countries out of 195 countries. The two countries which are not the part of United Nations are Holy See and Palestine. Where these United Nations has always been operated after the end of the Second World War for the purpose of maintaining peace and security in each and every country of the world. Before this United Nations, there was one more organization in the world which was known as League of Nations. But this League of Nations has been terminated just because it has not maintained any kind of a proper peace in the world, because during their presence the Second World War has arisen. And this United Nations presently is always trying to maintain peace and security between all the powerful countries of the world. As today we are going to discuss the establishment of UNO. You know who has established this United Nations of organization? Remember, three eminent founders from the world has established this United Nations of organization. The one eminent person from UK or United Kingdom is Winston Churchill, and the one more important eminent person from Russia who is known as Joseph Stalin, and the next eminent person from the United States of America, that is known as Franklin D. Roosevelt. These three eminent individuals has put a lot of efforts for the establishment of United Nations of organization for maintaining peace and to remove the problem of Third World War. But remember, for the multiple choice question they are going to ask in the examination, as who has coined the word United Nations? Who has written a word United Nations? The word United Nations has been coined by Franklin D. Roosevelt. As you know, this United Nations which is there, it has been came into effect on 24th of October 1945, or it has been established on October 24th 1945, where the headquarters which is there of this UNO, it is presently at New York. And as already just now I have told you, out of 195 countries of the world, presently 193 countries are the part of United Nations of organization, who are the family member of UNO. Just the two countries which are not the part of this organization, I have told you, one is Holy See and one more is Palestine. And the charter which is there of United Nations of organization, which is always being maintained by the Parliament of the world, that is General Assembly. The World Parliament or the Parliament of World is known as General Assembly. It has discussed in its preamble with a word that is known as we the people of world community. As you know, in the preamble of our India, there is an important sentence which has been delineated, that is known as we the people of India, because it shows the unity of every individual. In the same way, we the people of world community, it indicates here that we all the 193 countries are of same family, that is of United Nations. Now today let us discuss the next important thing, that is the aims of or objectives of United Nations of organization. This question mainly will be asked you for the 3 marks in the board examination. You know, the first important objective or aim which is there of this UNO, that is safeguarding or protecting the international peace and security. What does this safeguarding international peace and security means? Safeguarding peace and security is nothing but to maintain peace and protect each and every country of the world, but not to harm any country by the way of war. After the end of Second World War, you already know it, there was a scare or fear between each and every country of the world of Third World War. But United Nations of Organization has tried to resolve a major war between two powerful blocs. Those powerful blocs were known as Democratic Bloc and Communist Bloc. Democratic Bloc, it was belonging to USA, and Communist Bloc, it was belonging to the Russia. Where there was a major war occurred between these two powerful blocs, which was known as a Cold War. But United Nations of Organization has tried to make agreement between these two countries in the year 1963 in the name of PTBT, which is known as Partial Test Ban Treaty, and CTBT, which is known as Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, and SALT, which is known as Strategic Arms Limitation Talks. This agreement has been made by UNO between Russia and America just for the purpose of banning all the production of nuclear arms and ammunitions. Because of what? Because of having a proper peace and security between each and every country of the world. And the second important aim which is there of UNO, that is fostering cooperation among the nation. Here the word fostering is nothing but caring. The second aim of this UNO is indicating that we need to cooperate between each and every individual. We are like the friends here, we are like the family members here. It doesn't mean that if we are going to fight, it may harm to our family members only. So because of that only, this United Nations of Organization is suggesting us to have a proper cooperation with the neighbor countries and with the other countries of the world also. And the third important aim of United Nations of Organization is to improve the faith or belief in human rights. You know, human rights have been delineated or discussed into each and every country of the world, where these human rights have been declared as compulsory for each and every country by UNO in the year 1948. And on 10th December 1948, United Nations of Organization has declared that every country of the world has to implement fundamental human rights into their country. Since then, on 10th of December every year we are celebrating the Human Rights Day. But what this improving the faith in human right indicates exactly here? It indicates here that human rights are being brought, human rights are being returned, human rights are formulated into our country, but it is not being given in a proper way at all. For example, a right to freedom is being delineated into the constitution of our India, but freedom for every individual is not given at all. This aim of UNO is indicating that we have to improve the belief or faith in these human rights. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, has already said. What he has said? He has said that the freedom for all the women's or the independent for all the women's is an independent to our India. Unless and until women's are going to be safe in our country, they unless and until they are going to get the proper freedom in our country, our India is not going to get the independent or freedom. So because of this reason only, the human rights are being discussed in each and every country, even though these human rights are being discussed into our India in the third chapter of the constitution, but it is not being implemented in a proper way. So UN has a aim, as we have to impart or we have to give human rights to each and every individual. The next important aim of United Nations of organization is to explore is nothing but to develop solutions to various economical, sociological, cultural and other humanitarian based problems. In each and every country we are going to observe the problems, even though as India, which is one of an important developing country of the world, also has some major problems as well. But what is the thing exactly here it is being said here? If we have any economical, cultural, sociological problem, as for the humanity based, we need to find the solutions for this problem in whatever it may be. One example let me give to you. If we have economic problems in our India in the terms of wages or salary, as already we have discussed in the labor chapter about the discrimination. I told you discrimination is nothing but two individuals who are working in the same organization, two individuals who are working for the same working hours, who are producing the same quantity of goods and services, but there is a differential in payment for both the individual. So men are being paid here higher and women are being paid lower. This kind of the discrimination we are going to see or observe in each and every country of the world. Just one example I have given to you, where for this we need to find or we need to bring some solutions for these kind of the problems, which is the aim of United Nations of organization. And the next important aim which is there of United Nations of organization, that is to provide recognition or identification to the international agreements and conditions. There are many agreements or many international agreements which has been made by many countries of the world, but nobody individual knows about it. But this United Nations of organization has an aim that it has maintained a peace by the way of international agreement between many countries of the world. So it is trying to recognize this kind of the agreement between each and every country. The one of an important agreement which is known as Panchashila agreement between India and China. This agreement which is there, it has been made just for the purpose of having a proper relationship between India and China. As there is a slogan which has been said between India and China, that is known as Hindi Chinese are like bhai bhai. We are like brothers and sisters. And along with this we have also discussed the many important agreement which has been made between the countries of the world in the form of PTBT between USA and Russia, CTBT between USA and Russia itself. And there was also an important agreement which has been made by India and Pakistan for the purpose of having a 20 years peace, which was known as Tashkent agreement. These all the agreements has been made by UNO between the countries just for maintaining a peace, and these all the agreements are being recognized by UNO to the whole world just because it want to show that it is trying to maintain a proper relationship between each and every country of the world. And the last important aim which is there of UNO, that is it is striving a lot. Striving is nothing but struggling to build mutual trust and cooperation. Mutual is nothing but in between two individuals or in between two countries. Remember, always United Nations of organization is struggling a lot since 1945 to bring trust between two countries and to maintain proper cooperation between them. And the next important what we are going to learn from this chapter, that is the affiliated bodies of United Nations of organization. Remember, there are totally 6 affiliated bodies of United Nations of organization. In that, the first important which is there, that is General Assembly, and the second important which is there, that is Security Council, and the third important which is there, that is Economic and Social Council, and the fourth important which is there, that is Trusteeship Council, and the fifth important which is there, that is International Court of Justice, and the sixth and last important affiliated body of United Nations of organization, that is known as Secretariat Organ. Among these 6 affiliated bodies of UNO, for the MCQ which is very very important in your board exam, that is Security Council is the powerful affiliated body of UNO, and General Assembly, it is the Parliament of United Nations of organization. Where let us discuss in detail about the affiliated bodies of United Nations of organization.